aviation analyst and aircraft accident investigator Fahad Masood. He joins us now from Muscat. Thank you so much for joining us. As I mentioned there, it seems that looking at the numbers, Ukraine is vastly outnumbered versus Russian forces, but Ukraine's air force seems to be holding up in the face of Russia's continued assault. Explain to us why you think that might be.
To start with, it is a huge dichotomy in numbers, exactly what you've mentioned. But the loss, or what the Russian Air Force, or the VKS as we know as, is limited, or has limited effort generated on the SEAD or the DIAD element. This is an air power tenet, or an air power doctrine, or air power employment, which states suppression of enemy air defense or destruction of enemy air defense. If this is not done, in the long story, it will never be a successful conflict, or an effort, both in the air or on the ground. What this SEAD or DI does is to give room to maneuver for both subsequent air elements as well as the ground attack forces, although it happens synergistically later on. But what is more crucial, that this initial onslaught has to be successful, where the VKS has been left wanting in the first few days or 10 odd days of this conflict. So if you do not have this effort completely suppressing or destroying the enemy's air defense element, you will never be able to go ahead with the rest of the sources of air power that is there. So this is one. Why have they not been able to do this? There can be a few plausible reasons. One is a limited use of PGMs, which is precision guided munitions. In the case of air to ground weapons, smart bombs as they call them, they have used rocket attack, but that is a very rudimentary method of air power employment. The other thing can be that they're waiting for political clarity. As we all know, air power is an instrument of statecraft. The air element can be used if and when required or dictated by the government policy. So these are a few reasons why things are not moving in the direction where the Russians expected it to be in the recent past.
Yes, and in a bid to further bolster Ukraine's air power, the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Sunday gave NATO members the go-ahead to send fighter jets to Ukraine. How will that help in its defenses against Russia's continued attacks?
Well, as you've already mentioned, there's a major difference between the numbers. It will generate some air effort, but if I were to say, it will only delay the inevitable. It will take its due course. I certainly believe if Russia comes across with its complete onslaught, which is expected in the near future, if not the distant, Kiev is going to be very, very challenging to defend.
Okay, Fahad Masood, we will have to leave it there, but thanks very much for sharing your analysis with us on TRT World.